Inihuikarin kwalio ali. Inihuikarin kwalio ali. Sexy seka toyol shauki sholot sekuti. In mishkoat sinin sitlali.
The Peace and Dignity Journeys is an intercontinental spiritual movement. It is a movement that utilizes traditional indigenous spirituality and organizing as a way to build unity amongst indigenous peoples and non-indigenous peoples as well. Every 4 years since 1992, beginning from opposite sides of Abya or this hemisphere, spiritual runners began their trek, one group from Alaska and the other group from Tierra del Fuego, Argentina. The participants represent various indigenous communities from throughout North, Central, and South. And for 7 months, these participants take the responsibility to run for our communities, run for our peoples. This movement is an intertribal movement. And we do not impose our personal belief systems on those that want to participate in the journeys. The only thing that we ask for is for people to respect our ways, our traditions, the chispa, the spark, the chinachli for the creation of the Peace and Dignity Journeys has its roots in a gathering in 1990 in Quito, Ecuador, where hundreds of indigenous peoples from North, Central, and South traveled down in order to participate, to get to know each other, to share stories and struggles that are happening in our own countries. And according to the host, their presence marked the beginning of the fulfillment of the prophecy of the eagle and the condor. This ancient prophecy is based on the calendar systems of South America as well as our Mayan relatives in Central America. It is moving from a time of darkness into the dawning lights of the new sun, a new era. This era will be marked by the unification of the eagle and the condor, with the people of the north that represent the eagle, the people in the south that represent the condor, the people of Central America that represent the quetzal, and the people from the islands, the Caribbean islands, represented by the Warabao, to come together again as it was. From this gathering, the Peace and Dignity Journeys was born. And 2 years after this gathering, the first Peace and Dignity Journeys took place. At that time, runners from Alaska and Chile ran for several months and converged in the sacred city of Teotihuacan. They got there on October 12, 1992, which to some marked the 500 years of the landing of Christopher Columbus in the Western Hemisphere. However, for several hundred thousands of indigenous peoples, October 12, 1992 marks something different. For some, it was the 500 years of resistance, of wars, genocides, atrocities committed against our peoples. For the Peace and Dignity Journeys, October 12, 1992 marked a rebirth and marked the reawakening of the spirit of the eagle and the condor and the unity of indigenous peoples from throughout North, Central, and South. Every 4 years since 1992, there's been another run. Each run has also had a theme. In 1992, the theme was dedicated to our elders, because the elders are our libraries, our teachers. They're the ones who pass the traditions to us. The 1996 run was dedicated to the children, because they're our future and will be the ones that will take on the responsibilities that we have. In the year 2000, the journey was dedicated to the families, because the families are core. In the year 2004, the journey was dedicated to women, the givers of life, and to uplift the traditional ways to respect women. The 2008 journeys was dedicated to the sacredness of water, because water is life. And this year, 2016, the journey is dedicated to the seeds of life.
I am truly grateful that we have come together, the South and the North. Out of this gathering, we are going to continue to work in a strong way. and not allow any more people to die and suffer in the hands of what has oppressed us for 500 years. I tell you to the world, le digo al mundo, do not suppress and hurt our people anymore.
I am, in the modern term, a medicine woman, but in our term, I am a servant of Creator, which does healing of all things, healing of Mother Earth ceremonies, and healing of people who are very sick. People have disconnected themselves from the life force. The life force and energy is all here. It's always been here and will always continue to be. But there are prophecies that tell us we are going to have a purification because we are so removed from the ways that were given to us, especially the people of the modern society. You know, they have a different perspective of spiritual ways. And to me, their spiritual God is their money and power. And that's very disconnected. That's not the way we're supposed to be. Our greatest prayer is that we ask Creator to put us back in balance like we're supposed to be. You know, bring people back to their own central spirituality. This life here is beautiful. It is very sacred. And when you are in that connection, it is easy for you to be happy. The Aboriginal people of the Americas must now begin to activate the ceremonies in order to put things back in balance. And we must do it together, because if we are to survive, that is what's got to guide us.
Tengo las venas abiertas, por mi sangre corre el viento de la esencia verdadera. Es la historia de mi tierra la que mi canto refleja. Es el águila y el cóndor que se encuentran. Es el día y la noche que mezcladas se conectan. Tu mirada con la mía se asemeja. Nuestro canto hará que todo el amor florezca.
Es el verso que conecta la frecuencia verdadera, heredera de la era de la lucha consecuente y directa, siempre inmersa en la subversiva ala de la vida morenita, estrella latina.
Por mi sangre corre el viento y la cultura de nuestros ancestros, que perdura como la esencia de los elementos, de las enseñanzas de los que antes existieron.
Somos tierra amerindia, como mapuche y mexica, como Pachamama que nos cuida, que nos guía. Retomamos tradiciones nuestras, aprendiendo de la vida, acercándonos hacia la sabiduría.
Primera palabra de paz, honrando a los ancestros, su legado espiritual, memoria de la tierra, tradición oral, tradición viva, en rezos y danzas, en cantos y alabanzas, libros de pintura, palabra viva, compartida, cuenta de 2 días, sincroniza y canaliza, otros ojos ilumina, pica pica.
Los cantores, los que con el ritmo vamos contando lo que está pasando, informando y compartiendo, dignificando, con la gente celebrando, escuchando, con respeto vamos construyendo, avanzando, nuestra expresión es resultado de lo que vamos soñando, por eso estamos sonando, con la mano abierta y el puño en alto representando. ¡Pum!
Propagando en cada rezo, en cada canto, en cada danza, desde el sur, la Patagonia, hasta el norte, en Alaska, ya basta, ya es tiempo de caminar en unidad y movimiento.
Tengo las venas abiertas, por mi sangre corre el viento de la esencia verdadera. Es la historia de mi tierra la que mi canto refleja. Es el águila y el cóndor que se encuentran. Es el día y la noche que mezcladas se conectan. Tu mirada con la mía se asemeja. Nuestro canto hará que todo el amor florezca.
Americua, tierra sagrada, con su propia historia que ha sido resguardada en la memoria de sus pueblos, en lenguas originarias. Son la memoria de la tierra sagrada, son los guardianes del desierto y la montaña, mujeres sabias de la noche y la mañana, que recuerdan cada rezo, en cada canto, en cada danza, desde el sur, la Patagonia, hasta el norte, en Alaska. Ya basta, ya es tiempo de caminar en unidad y movimiento. Ya basta, es el momento para sanar el mundo entero.